Hi, today I'm going to make a queen size headboard out of pallet wood. This is the very first pallet project I've done. It's the very first headboard I've made, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So let's get right to it. Here we go. First thing to do is take apart some pallets. So let's do that. Here we go. So here we go again, doing a project I've never done before, without any clear plan for how to get it done. But I do know I need the boards off the pallets, so I'll start there. So I needed a board that was strong enough that I could pound on it with this 10-pound sledge over and over again. So I just chose a piece of red oak that I had laying around. Some of you know I used to work in the sawmill, and I do have some quantities of hardwood just laying around, leftovers from a bygone era. So these came apart pretty good. Some people have a fancy tool, you know, a pallet board pulling off tool, but I don't have one of those. So we went at it with the 10-pound sledge, and let me tell you, that 10-pound sledge can get pretty heavy when you're in your early to mid 60s. But you know, we take a break, take another break, and if that's what you got to do. So again, hey, I'd like to thank you again for watching. I think you're really going to enjoy this build. I'm going to try to keep it moving along and not get too tedious. All right. It's starting to rain. I better get this stuff under cover. The rain didn't last long, and then of course I had to get all the nails out of it, but the forecast wasn't great, so I had to take it all inside. I've seen people use double stick tape before, but actually I think that it's more for a lateral force than a vertical, because when I pulled up on the handle of the clamp, it pulled up the back side of the piece of wood. So I just put a pilot hole in there and screwed it right to the bench. Screwed them both down, and then we're good to go. I knew I was going to be cleaning up more boards than I actually needed, but I wanted to have as many options as possible, and I didn't want a pile of wood laying around with nails in it. So we took all the nails out, cut them off with the grinder, push them through with the nail set. So the very next day we were headed for Michigan. It's 680 miles. So we packed up the car and then we start working on it out there. First thing to do was to use a belt sander to remove most of the age and just leave some accents on there. The customer requested rustic, so I'm trying to do rustic. Again, I'm cleaning up all the boards knowing full well that I'm not going to use all the boards. But if I need them for some other project, I don't have to worry about splinters and etc., etc., etc. You like my little shuffle dance? Okay, once we got the two main surfaces taken care of, it was time to clean up the edges with the palm sander. Now, I'm only cleaning up the boards which I have selected already for using on the project. And of course, when I push the pile, they fall over. I knew I wanted to use these other pieces from the pallets for the legs. I just wasn't sure how to do it, and then I said, well, I could take a piece of the one and put it in between the others, and it just looks like a little slightly longer pallet. But it still has all the character. Would have helped if I put them together straight, but we'll address that in a minute. I relied heavily on the two-part epoxy for this build. Gluing these together, gluing the boards together for the headboard, etc., etc. So the customer definitely did not want any pattern to the junctions. So it's random connections, random thick, random width on the courses, and she loves it. time I've ever used this in this kind of quantity. Okay. Okay, now bring whatever's low, bring it up. This one's a little low. Not necessarily. This one looks a little low. There we go, that's touching. We gotta bring this one up some. Well, I got that glue everywhere. Okay, so now I'm ripping the cherry that I'm going to be using for the trim. A lot of this is pretty sketchy as far as it's got some shake and stuff in it, and some pieces were coming off it. But we managed, you know, we'll stand to the side, etc., etc. The floor is obviously a much harder surface than the piece of plywood that I started off hammering on. This didn't take long. So this is the first coat of spray polyurethane. It's a warm satin. It's what the customer that wanted. I didn't have enough to finish the project. And I also ran out of time. We were going home the next day. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. You know, the customer got a good value out of this, and I got to make you guys a video. And that's what I really like to do, is make videos for you guys to see. So If you haven't yet, if you liked it, how about a like and a subscribe? And maybe you can share it with a friend of yours. All right, I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, there it is. So the customer hasn't received it yet because it doesn't have enough coats poly on it. She'll be getting it after I get back to it, but that's not until I go back to Shop West out in Michigan. Hey, thanks for stopping by today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to have a conversation about me making something for you, head over to www.claytonswoodart.com and hit that contact page, and let's start a conversation about me making something custom just for you. All right, here's something you're probably going to want to watch, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Be nice to each other.